Hey all, my name's Jonah, and this is a board game review for the game Age of Wonders Planetfall, which is published by Hobby World and designed by Stepan Obolev. In Age of Wonders Planetfall, you are the commander of one of 6 surviving groups that has set out to explore the once-abandoned parts of the Star Union. Your expedition will explore 7 planets in search of valuable resources and technology. You'll battle hostile units, you'll seize landmarks, and the question is, will you be able to create a new world from the shards of the old empire? So, this game is actually recommended for ages 12 and up. It plays 2 to 6 players, and it'll take you about 20 to 40 minutes to play. So let me jump into telling you just a little bit about setup and gameplay. The game is played over 7 rounds, and a new planet is explored each round, which is represented by a deck of cards. Each player may conduct 2 explorations on every planet in 2 consecutive turn order player rounds. The players will gain empire points by defeating the units, studying technology, claiming landmarks, and running operations on those planets. And at the end of the game, players will score empire points for meeting certain conditions listed on a particular goal sheet. And of course, whoever scores the most empire points wins the game. The mechanics in this game are open drafting, set collection, and worker placement. I'm not exactly sure if I'd call it a worker placement game, but I'll tell you a little bit about the game and what it has to offer, and I'll let you decide. So, the cool thing about the game is since you get 2 different options to explore each planet, basically 14 turns in a 7-round game, there's a different player order for each exploration. So at the very start of the game, you're actually placed on the turn order track just basically off of which faction you have. There's a certain number printed there, and it'll let you know basically lowest numbers go first and higher numbers go a little later. And then what you do is you take your ship and you place it on one of the cards that this planet has to offer. Now, there's lots of different cards in the game, and for each planet, depending on your player count, there'll be a certain number of cards left over, so you'll have a little bit of variety each time that you play. But what you do is you place your spaceship on one of those cards, and depending on which level the card is, level 1, level 2, or level 3, depends on the cost and the reward of that card. Then, top to bottom, left to right, you reset turn order based on where your ship now stands, and then you go again for exploration number 2. So I thought that was a really interesting part of the game because turn order and player order switches basically all game. Again, it could be the same depending on what card you select, but more than likely you're going to have 14 different, player orders over the course of this game. Another really interesting aspect is the set collection aspect of the game. As you acquire the cards to your personal player board, the certain card types stack on top of each other, and therefore activate each other as you continue in the game. So you can get cards that make other cards for the rest of the game cheaper. Every time you buy this particular set of cards or particular icon on the cards, you also gain this benefit, things like that. And I thought that was really interesting because set collection can be really interesting mechanic when you're playing with up to 6 people. If you see someone collecting a certain type and you're like, wow, they're scoring a lot of empire points off of that, you might in your mind want to actually take that card from them by putting your ship on it, where in reality it might not help you that much, it might just be hurting them. So I thought that was an interesting part of the game. You don't have to play that way, of course, but if you've played any games with me, you'll understand that that's totally the way I play, because I want to win. I also thought that there's some variability in the in-game bonuses. So the game comes with a stack. You'll have to forgive me, I think it's 7 or 8, maybe even up to 10 in-game scoring options, and you kind of randomly select one at the beginning of the game, and to pay attention to that while you explore every 7 planets, because that'll give you some variability as well. And then of course every player gets a player mat that's got a certain different ability on it as well. So I just thought there was a lot of variability in the game that's going to make your game unique each time that you play it. And of course having a lot of cards, so that way there's always extras on some of the planets, is very important as well. Now if you know anything about Age of Wonders, this is a very very popular, normally, video game. If I'm not mistaken, you can play this on a couple different platforms, and for those board gamers out there, you can even play this game on Steam. And so I thought that was really cool. I think this game will do really well, especially if you're familiar with the Age of Wonders kind of universe that they have. So that's my take on Age of Wonders Planetfall. Again, it plays really fast, 20 to 40 minutes. You can play up to 6 players even in that time period. I think that's really cool. It's kind of hard to find a 6-player game that you can get through really fast. There's not very much confusion in the game. It's pretty easy about setup and table presence and play rule comprehension. So realistically, if you're into games with lots of players but you don't want to take forever setting them up and explaining, this is probably one that should make it on your shelf. So anyway, thanks so much for watching our review on Age of Wonders Planetfall. It's releasing from Hobby World, like I mentioned, now or even later in the year, just depending on when you're watching the video. So if you're interested in picking this game up, you'll have to get it from your friendly local board game store, or of course you can get it from Hobby World's website. Of course, if you want to leave feedback on this video, please do. And if you want to see more from us here at Tantrum House, or if there's a game that you haven't seen us review yet and you want to hear our thoughts, then you just need to leave it in the comments below. But until next time, we'll see you soon.